Follow-up game, and no surprises here. Lee Sin immediately banned away, removing that from Razork. Inspired has not played that in all this summer, and the Twisted Fate, a great target bet towards Larssen.
Oh, absolutely. I think Larssen has 100% win rate with Twisted Fate this season, so it's not a surprise that Twisted Fate is banned out there. I would love to see a Misfits ban on the Varus possibly as last pick right here. The Xin Zhao is still up and available, but we've heard Zanzara talk about how you can very well pick Trundle into it, and we do know that Razork does play the Trundle. Now the thing is, what do you prioritize on the side of Rogue? Because they have heavily leaned into the Viego time and time again.
Yeah, they have indeed, and of course this time it's available. The Varus was correctly banned out. Good call there, Trouble, and we were talking a lot about how important Syndra could be for Vito. It's his most played champion this summer. I think it works well into Rogue. And as we turn our attention, LeBlanc is open, Lucian is open, Viego is open. What is first pick? Oh, Xin Zhao, how did we forget about that?
Yeah, we mentioned that Xin Zhao is open.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Razork pull the trigger on the Trundle here and try to possibly pair him up with something like LeBlanc. LeBlanc, not the greatest at pushing waves, but he's the greatest at neutralizing mid lane. Razork gonna put his hands onto the Viego though. I'm still expecting the LeBlanc to come in because it's one of the best blind picks you can have in the mid lane. Vito also known to play the Akali.
Ooh.
Okay, they're gonna lock in Ashe for Colby.
This is an interesting little move here as we see the Ashe now locked in along with that Viego. Obviously, we're anticipating that Viego to go jungle. Let's turn our attention. Very quick lock-ins. Lucian, no surprise there for Larssen. 6 games played this summer, 4 of which are wins. And the Ziggs, 2 games, 2 wins for Hansama.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly, this screams Rogue. They have inspired on an ultra S-tier champion that the Xin Zhao is. They have Hansama on a lane bully / pusher. And they also have Larssen on his infamous Lucian in the mid lane. It screams Rogue top to bottom. And from the side of Misfits, they sort of pick a lane neutralizer with the Ashe. They're trying to go for more of a passive bot lane with the Ashe down there. So we might be expecting some Braum bans to come for the side of Rogue, as well as maybe a Leona or a Nautilus at the table. Anything that can provide Misfits with more heavy engage, because right now all they have is the Ashe Arrow.
And I do like that fact. Combo that with a little bit of the Realm Warp as well. Some abilities for Misfits to get creative. I also quite like the idea of Ashe supplementing the stronger members of Misfits. Rakan's going to be banned away. Targeting Trimby is one of his most impactful engage tools.
There's something that slipped my mind. That is 2 immobile carries that Misfits have locked in, and Kennen is up and available for Auto Amne. So it could be something that Rogue might be having their eyes on. There is no one to push him out yet for the side of Misfits. It is a possibility. They have their 2 ADs locked in for the side of Rogue. You can have another AP together with the Ziggs.
Well, Kennen has just been banned away, so another great read there. Trouble is that will now limit the pool for what Odo wants to run. Camille was a champion that Rogue denied as their first ban in Phase 2. And now we really get to see how these compositions will round out. I like the Jace ban. I personally feel here it is very impactful on that particular champion. Also will signal indication they're expecting that Viego to go into the jungle.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since the nerfs came in for solo lanes for Viego. He's going to end up going into the hands of Razork. And because Odo Amne is going to have to blind pick his top lane, you definitely don't want any ranged champions to bully you, such as the Jace. And we know here it is extremely proficient at this champion. Now, what does Rogue do here? Because they need to pick the support. The one up and available that I can think of right now is the Leona. They also have the Tam Kent. What are they going to choose to pair up with the Ziggs in the bot lane? It's going to be the Tam Kent, but Odo Amne has also played the Kent top.
Oh, interesting.
It wasn't good memories.
No,
it wasn't good
not
memories.
Good memory. It was after, of course, Rogue had already locked in that playoffs berth. And this last selection will now start to confirm how this composition's going to play out. A few seconds left. And of course, the TK very different to that Leona. And there you go, you called it again. So it will be Odo TK top. It will be Trimby running the Leona in the bottom lane. And here it will lock in the Gnar. Let's zoom out. What do these 2 team compositions say to you?
Wow. Okay. So if we take a whole zoom out, you can see Odo Amne, weak side king again. He's going to be taking and piloting the Tam Kent. And yet again, Rogue with the very heavy poke push bot lane. That Leona Ziggs is known to be played a lot in the LCK, and it has massive resurgence, I guess, because of the LCK. And you lock someone down, you pop the bomb, somebody disappears. That's exactly what Hansama and Tree like to do on the map. Also, you've got a lot of side lane pressure with the bomb from the Ziggs. And we've seen Hansama do some interesting teleports to take towers with it.
We have indeed, playing around the map, and it's just one of the tools that Rogue really utilize well, moving their early game pressure points to unlock significant gold leads. What I do like on both sides, though, there's that non-committal engage that can come from long range. So there's that little bit of safety net. They don't have to commit themselves 100%. The Leon ulti, the Ashe ulti, and then there's a lot to follow it up as well.
What I'm really worried about is that Misfits engage is a little bit situational with the Na. The Na needs to have the bar to get that engage, so Rogue always will have that window to pull their trigger first.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The Xin the Lucian as well. Going to do so well in those skirmishes. Game 1 draft is locked in. The only other time that Odo played that Tom Kench top, it sucked.
I think it was versus G2 as well.
See how it happens and how it works out today. We'll be starting on the blue side. Our drafts are locked in. The LEC Summer Playoffs start right now. Summoner's Rift for Game 1 in this best of 5. The first 3 wins will take the series and advance to the upper finals next Saturday. The loser will face either Fnatic or Vitality. And of course, Trouble, you had such a fantastic read on the draft. Let's take a quick look at what our keystones and our summoner spells look like. 1, 2, 3 teleports on the side of Rogue. Huge surprises there. Hansama's TP is the one that I want to watch, especially during the first 10 or so minutes, to see if he can help push some of these towers down.
So the thing here is, again, I'm going to quote Zanzara on the desk. He said, do either two things, right? Razork either has to push Hansama and Trimby behind, bleed the bot lane, or try to attack the weak side king that Odo Amne is. Now, of course, right there, they wanted to put some vision down, making sure, because these two junglers are pivotal to how both of these teams play, specifically Razork. I just want to focus on the fact that there's no way Misfits play bot side. Yeah. They lack the summoners because the second you go cleanse to stay safe, and of course you pick Ashe to play safe and play for a little further behind, you instantly lose a little bit of the aggression earlier into the game. And if you look at top side, here it's specifically picked the Na, a ranged champion, versus Odo Amne's Tam Kent to try and pressure that point. I think all eyes are on Razork and the plays they can make towards the top side of the map, especially when Vito hits level 6.
Okay, so there we go. The conditions laid out, and we'll track Razork's pathing as well as Misfits' ability to generate some sort of a lead. Bouncing Bomb hops over Cobby, and just quickly while we have a brief moment, I just want to really highlight again those numbers and this mountain that Misfits have to climb. 4 wins, 12 losses. On average across the games, minus 280 gold. Negative KD ratio, obviously, when you're losing a lot of games. As it starts right now, Misfits going to get the early dredge line. Early level 2 in the bottom lane, not a big surprise in that regard.
I actually wonder how Misfits got the early level 2, because in my opinion, I feel like Ziggs pushes harder than Ashe. Because he has the AoE and he also has the auto attack from his passive. So I would like to see maybe what happened. Maybe Rogue didn't walk far into the lane.
I think one of those bouncing bombs was targeting Cobby. Bounced over him, didn't hit any minions, didn't fly anyway. Exactly. Razork is already going to show himself in the mid lane. As soon as Larson dashed backwards, Razork will be able to pop that sweeper. I think he cleared out the ward in the river. The Wave is going to be pushing into Rogue on the bottom lane. Wave is going to be pushing into Odo Amne on the top lane. And this is already going to give some sort of opportunities, depending on what Razork wants to do. And if you look at the minimap, he's already moving for the scope.
Inspired is just so freaking five-head every single time. He sees that the bot lane from Misfits are having the push. He sees that their jungler is going straight for the Scuttlecrab. So what does Inspire do? He leaves after his red buff and goes to take topside Scuttlecrab. He's just so clever. This is why we praise him, because he reads situations so fast. He knew that he wasn't going to have any priority down bot, instantly left after his air buff and went top. And look how pushed here it is here. He could instantly look to punish the counter pick.
And he can indeed. This wave will slowly push back towards Hirit. There is a wood inside the river, so depending on the pathing that Inspired chooses, there's Odo jumps forward, got the tongue lash, 3 stacks. Inspired still holding on. The hop has already been used. Flash is available. The dash will be used in a moment or two. Not just yet. Underneath the tower, Wind becomes lightning, easily picked up. Really simple and clean first blood.
So well played. Here it was actually stuck right there. He needed to shove in his wave or it was gonna get frozen for eternity at a position where you don't want to be if you have the strong side top lane. And again, he had to play it 50-50. He had to either push for it and expect no gank, but again, Inspired, so freaking clever. Went for the top side scuttle, sees here it overextended with the Mininar form, instantly punishes that one lane that should be shining for Misfits.
And that was one of the things you wanted to see. It was one of the things that Trouble was saying in our pregame, that Zanzaro was talking about in Ready Check. Where does Razork, what does he want to do to enable? Now, let's point out the fact that this wave is pushing towards Hirit, and obviously Razork is in the area. But early advantage, 700 gold, Inspired, potentially sniffing it out, and I think he will get spotted by the ward, so there is support nearby. Vito's close to level 6. He's got the teleport available to him, but he's being pushed somewhat by Larssen if I look at that mini.
Hansama is back in right now. He could potentially pull the trigger for the teleport top.
Here comes Inspired though. Vito's on the hunt for Larssen. Spell Flux is bouncing the damage out. Flash available to him. Now Razork will find Inspired. Both mid laners are relatively low. Continuing to chase. Inspired's got that flash. That's the flash forward from Razork. Does Vito follow? He does. Rune Prison comes out as well. Blade of the Rune King plus a couple extra autos. It's Vito with the counter skill. While that's going on, Cobby gets jumped on. The flash forward from Trimby. While burning, Cobby's going low. Hansama's got no mana. He can't find the last auto, and it's Trimby that will pick it up. Double teleports into the bottom lane as Vito will be chased by Larssen. Larssen dashes forward. Trimby re-engages onto Vander. Vito's going to be the next target. He's taken out by Larssen. Defensive flash from Vander. Underneath the tower, Larsen's got himself one, got himself the double, and Odo gets out alive.
So freaking well played every time. The macro, the shock calling, everything. One play happens and all Rogue collapses. Here it Hack is TP up and available, but you cannot TP in as Mini now. You're gonna get instantly destroyed. And if we see this again, we're talking about how important the mid-jungle duo is for Misfits. They punish Inspired on the top side, and instantly Rogue will pull the trigger to win something on the other side of the map, which we know is their winning side. They will chase down Cobby, and then they will play in the fog of war inside the bush. So even though Vander is at the front, Trimby does not allow the anchor to go through. Vito TPs after the play mid, he's 30-40% HP, and then Larssen TPs in full HP with new items because he had backed from that mid lane play.
What a heartbreaking start to the series for
Look at Larssen's
Misfits.
gold.
Gigantic advantage, 4 kills to 1, 1,000 gold lead already. Now, fortunately, Misfits are farming relatively well, but that is the most silver lining statement I can make. It feels as though Inspired is already impacting the map more significantly. It feels as though individual players, Trimby finding that engage in the combat, followed up with an instantaneous TP, means that Rogue have come ready to fight, and they have executed each one of those exceptionally well. And Vito, no flash in the middle lane, is going to get jumped on here. The culling is starting to be fired out, 200 HP, 150, and he's able to walk away.
No flash though, no teleport. He's going to be heavily punished when it comes to CS and experience, and the wave is going to be pushed in. Not only that, Red Buff have spawned for Razork, and he has absolutely no means to get inside his jungle. Don't dive on his own.
Odo's gone underneath the tower. The grey health will get popped. Here it's about to go Mega Gnar, but he can't avoid the lick. Odo with the solo kill under the tower with the minion wave.
How broken is that though? The Tamkins tanked, I think, 4, 5 tower shots. That was insane.
Well done, Odo.
Weak side what?
That is exactly what he wanted to do last time around on the pick. Now, fortunately, Razork is going to be able to pick up most of these waves. And I do want to highlight, it's not necessarily the right time because of what we've just seen, but Odo Wamne traditionally does not get a lot of jungle proximity.
He doesn't need it, that's why, Trevor.
8% of the time, the lowest ranked top laner. Now, even with nearly no attention from his jungler, he has the lowest deaths at 15 minutes. He also has the highest gold difference. Now, let's call out in this game, Inspired gank for him, right? So kudos to that. But Odo Wamne is one of those players that consistently delivers, consistently is impactful, winning even without support, and that is a bad thing for Misfits because Hirt is one of the players that needs to do well to unlock wins.
And he specifically had the counter pick due to them being red side to punish Odoamne or whatever pick he chose to go with. Inspired Odoamne instantly shut that down. Beautiful satchel right there from Hansama to get away from the arrow, and that sort of dissipates the pressure that Misfits have bot lane. The anchor and the arrow, as you can see, Vander doesn't have his ultimate up and available, but it is a relief that Colby's arrow is down. Although, because we know that Inspired is playing top side, it is known for Misfits to sneak in a lot of objectives and start stacking these dragons. You definitely want to get something going for you in the early game and grab some gold.
Yeah, you really do. And of course, this is kind of what we expected. I think it's fair to say Rogue are the strongest early game team. And I think we do have a moment or two just for me to talk a little bit about win expectancy. Now, the numbers on your screen will show the win expectancy, and this is the win probability. It indicates the chance that a team has to win, a particular game at a particular point in that game. So Rogue's win expectancy at 15% is 76%, right, of the games. That's what you expect them to win. In their games, they have a lead in 89%. That's gold, versus opponents. But they only win 72% of the time. Help me understand why. If they have a gold lead, if they're expected to win, and it's lower, it's because of that rogue time, isn't it?
Yeah, this is where rogue time comes in. This is where I think the guys talked about it on Euphoria as well. It's when you have a lead that's large enough, you start sort of losing focus. You're like, cool, we're pushing as hard as we can, but in the mid game, on the 20-minute mark, there's only so far you can push in one lane. You can take all other towers, you can take whatever objectives there are on the map, such as the Rift Herald, such as the Dragon as well, but there's only so far you can push, and a lot of times Rogue will reach a little bit further and instantly get their hands slapped.
Yeah, get their hands slapped, get punished for it, lose some of that advantage, that Rogue time meme for any of our long-time viewers, between 20 and 30 minutes. Rogue lose a bit of focus. Freddie was talking about it, as we mentioned. And of course, that's where Misfits are hoping to thrive. Now, take a quick look at our itemizations and our CS numbers, moving towards Mythics, pretty much even on farm for now. But that is still a significant gold lead. And Hirt, afraid to step forward, was almost jumped on there by Odo.
Yeah, but it's so huge for Inspired to hold onto that particular Rift Herald, because with the Ziggs, it is such a potent tool to have. You get a tower low enough, Ziggs can instantly kill it, and you also have a Lucian that you want to push even further. Larsen is already 2-0. You can also give a lot of platings to the mid lane. So I'm wondering where Inspired is going to drop this one. I would assume that Hansama needs to be nearby and they get their first tower.
Well, there's a couple teleports coming available as well, both for Odo and Larsen. The next dragon spawning in 2 minutes, and Misfits, they're setting themselves up for a potential engage on Larsen. Razok is coming in, level 7. Rune Prison comes out. Dash forward, Dredge line is flashed away from Razok with a Heartbreaker, and will be able to pick up the kill. With the assist from Vitio, it cost the flash, and now all of a sudden this will be a plate for Vitio, so that's very, very important for Misfits.
Again, it's the Razok Vitio show. They bring in Vander for a little bit of assistance with the anchor right there, and they capitalize on shutting down Larsen in the mid lane. But you shut down one lane from Rogue, you get punished in the others. Hansama will find something solo or not. Inspired is literally sprinting it down bot lane. I'm assuming because there's only 3 plates left. That means if the Rift Herald charges, the Satchel charge will finish the job.
It will, and I mean, Hansama's got himself nearly 1,000 gold lead, by the way. Is going to recall, pick up the Ludens. Gale Force is with Larsen as well, and teleport there available to him. If you look at the mini-map, Razok relatively nearby, and Vitio and Hirt with their TPs, but Hirt is in Mega Gnar. So if Rogue pull the trigger now, the options for Misfits are a little bit low. That's the Herald being summoned.
There's absolutely no triggers that they want to pull right here. It's literally charge from Rift Herald into Satchel charge from Ziggs, take the tower, funnel more gold. He prepped it as well. Funnel more gold into Hansama, goodbye.
Yeah, really nicely done. While that's going on, Odo fancies himself another chop.
Again?
The Devour comes right back out. Is this the second solo bolo for Odo? Defensive flash away. Sidestep the tongue lash, continuing to run. Odoamne dashes, doesn't find the knock-up. Here it gets tongue lashed one last time. Gobble, 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 get in that belly.
Oh my god, weak side what? Again, for Odo Amne, that is, again, I'm going to repeat myself, the one lane that should be getting going for the side of Misfits.
2-0-3.
He's everywhere.
On the solo lane, Odo Amne, Tom Kench. 0-3. There's a 10 CS advantage, 150 gold bounty already. And that is going to be a terrifying, terrifying Tom Kench to get through. But Dragon is up. Teleport will be available in a moment. Inferno Bomb comes down.
Oh,
Vito knocked backwards from a fantastic satchel. Vito gets taken out. Solar Flare locks down Vanda. He's instantly down. Here it teleports in to his death. Gift wrapping another for Rogue.
Wow, so if people ask me how do Misfits force Rogue's finger, how do Misfits get Rogue to make that mistake, to punish it, I would say play Skirmish City. Rogue are the ones playing Skirmish City right now, and it's working for them. They see champion, they kill champion, and that's due to that very early 2-0 onto Larsen that gave him the item that quickly. This is due to all that money insurgence into Hansama that gave him that Luden's Echo. And Misfits right now cannot follow. You see that it's a little bit scrappy. The TP comes in, but it's a Minina. He instantly gets destroyed. They saw Vito in the mid lane. He has no flash available, so they instantly jump on him. Kobe's on the other side of the wall. He cannot participate. Razo cannot participate either. Vanda ends up going down, and then here it is TPs. One, way too late. Two, in a minute now.
Yeah, and such a great satchel. I mean, you called it out.
That was beautiful.
Hansama just laid up Vito. He's now the gold leader, 6.2k. Larsen's 6k. And then look at that, Vito, Odo inspired. I mean, it's just such a mountain already. 3,500 gold in the lead at 15 minutes. Here it will just about Mega Gnar out. Vito's going to teleport into the fray. Larsen's here with the culling. There comes Vito. That solar flare was so well timed. Trimby, you are a madman. Razork's not going to be able to get the kill just yet. Finally does so. Turns himself into the Kench and now turns the attention back around. Ash Arrow comes out and will delay the inevitable. Bouncing bombs are being thrown. Flash forward from Hansama. Satchel charge won't find Hero, but it may not be needed. Larsen dashes for the Mega Inferno Bomb goes as well. And despite the one kill back, it simply doesn't matter. Rogue are obliterating Misfits.
They are just so much further ahead. They have the Ludens right there. You see Kobe, again, not in the play. And it's just so difficult to play without Kobe making sure that he throws his volleys out. He slows down people for his teammates to reach them. And that was a fight that Misfits could play because here it was in Mega Gnar form.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he had his Sandara completed at this point, but it just went so south so quickly for the side of Misfits. And again, it starts with Odo Amne. He plays more ballsy. He makes sure he puts himself way far into the fight, and when Vito lands, Vito gets completely decimated by Trimby's ultimate. Odo Amne survives long enough for everyone else to arrive from the side of Rogue, and then Razork, I think, overextends a little bit too much with the Tamkin's form, and from there on out, it's deja vu of what happened in the bot side river.
Yeah, getting run down. I do actually appreciate the mindset, because when Hansama flashed forward for the satchel, you and I both raised our eyebrows like, huh? Good sidestep, of course, to dodge it, but I think more importantly, it signals an approach to this game. Right?
They're just confident.
They're just confident. They are playing to punish and to push forward. And 13 kills to 4, 2 towers to nothing. What's that? 6k gold lead, roughly. And now Misfits are going to need a miracle. They've done it several times already, just not against Rogue. They will find themselves Odo Amne, who stays alive despite all of the pressure and waddles himself to safety. Razork jumps all the way forward with that Heartbreaker. Trimby's finally taken out. Misfits with one on the board, but here comes the backup. Here comes the reinforcements, and here comes Rogue. An audacious charge into Wind becomes lightning. Kobe flashes over the wall. Culling will tag him down. Not enough to die just yet. Larsen, one last dash forward will secure 2 more kills. That's 3 in total from the fight.
Rogue are charged up and ready to go. Misfits picked a fight that they should never have. You never fight against the Ziggs in the choke point. Hansama was just able to throw bomb after bomb after bomb. Decimated Misfits trying to make something happen right there. And I appreciate Misfits for trying to get that pick, but you cannot play against the Ziggs like this. They don't have backline access at this point. They need a miracle flank from here with the Mega Gnar together with Razork to completely shut down Hansama. And then when you do, Larson is still a problem.
Oh man, it is the case. And I mean, that lead just continues to get extended. This was Vanda and Razork starting the engage on Odo, who has a 2-level advantage over Razork's lead.
But your 2 carries are not there. Kobe is not there to slow anyone down. You see that Vitio arrives, but he arrives too late because Vanda is already too low. And you see that Razork is falling too low as well. And Hansama, he hasn't been tapped this entire fight. He's just throwing bomb after bomb after bomb. This is the most comfortable spot that you can fight as a 6.
I mean, Odo Wamne just literally unscathed. He's going to be such a monster for Misfits to deal with. And
already is.
Getting close to 20 minutes into game. Now we need to pay attention to how and where do Rogue move around the map. They've already secured 4 towers. It's 30 seconds to the next Drake. It's an Ocean Soul that we are playing for. So this is that period of game where all season long we have seen small mistakes. Some of them have been punished, some of them have been problematic. And that's what we want to see, how clean Rogue can play the next few minutes.
My eyes are on Hansama because in the team fights that they lost specifically against Misfits, the 2 times they played them in summer, was due to Hansama getting caught on a side lane and that resulting into an objective for Misfits, aka Baron, most importantly. So you cannot give up anything at this point. You are 7,000 gold in the lead. The 20 mini mark starts ringing for Rogue.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the itemization difference, right? So Hansama nearly got his full wizard hat completed to go the looter.
That's gonna hurt.
There's a Wit's End and a Noon Quiver. That's it. Kobe is so far behind being an effective damage dealer. You can't even call him a carry yet.
Yeah, Kobe is mostly there to lay down the slows and be the one that controls the team fights. The big guns in the fight is Vitio, Razork, and Hirid jumping in the backline. And unfortunately, Hirid is just so far behind that it's gonna take, honestly, a miracle flank TP from him to make something happen on the map.
Teleports are available for Hirid and Vitio.
There's no wards though behind Rogue.
Yeah. And also there was no opportunity, right? Dragon was already secured. So Rogue just continue to squash Misfits under their boot. And this is where now, if anybody is a Misfits fan and everybody is hoping to see Misfits come back into this, Georgia, you've already talked a lot about how they can flank, how they can look for those opportunities, maybe punish some mistakes that expect or requires a sort of misplay from Rogue. But the other thing is you can't deny the fact that Misfits have had several surprise wins at either an Elder or a Baron. Those late game team fights. We also heard Ready Check analyst is talking about Misfits' ability to team fight. It's just so much harder because of the situation they're in.
It's just extremely difficult because the tankiest member right now in your team for Misfits, it's probably Vanda, maybe Hirid in his Mega Gnar form. Someone has to unfortunately face check to start laying down the vision. Look at Vitio, he's just going to his mid lane.
Yeah, he is. The Abyssal Dive comes out. A Rune Prison holds Odo for now. Solar Flare, I'm waiting for it. Trimby's not pulled the trigger, but Razork has. He's jumped onto Larson. Larson catches the ECA. He's taken out. That's a heartbreaker use. Razork is now a Lucian. He's a much better champion, but caught up by the Solar Flare. You cannot avoid the CC. Hirid forced to hop and skip and jump away to safety. Dredgeline re-engaged from Vanders just to buy time, but Odo's not done yet. He's waddling his way towards Hirid, holding on to that flash. It is a 2-for-1. And all of a sudden, Misfits running for their lives.
Yeah, and again, we said maybe you punish Hansama, Larson's still alive, how do you deal with that? You punish Larson, Hansama is alive, how do you deal with that? You see that the Devour was also up and available for Odo Amne. If they did get onto the Ziggs, he was going to be able to devour him and save him. There's just no saving grace because the back line access is not there for the sort of Misfits. You see 4 people in mid, and yes, they do catch out Larson. Really beautiful punish right there for Razork, but that's it. Once you kill Larson, look at the entire rest of the team. Inspired is just handling them 1v3.
Well, Misfits, they're not done yet. Vitio jumps all the way forward, but he's taking so much damage. Does manage to get one back, but now Hirid in a 2v1. Support's coming. Devour has been used. Notice running for his life. Hirid has now gone Mega Gnar. No flash available to him. The path that is hallowed is on Razork's feet. Over the wall, the Hex flash from Trimby. Manages to get a shield of Daybreak into the Zenith Blade, and now force the flash from Razork. An Abyssal Dive means that Hirid will be forced to gnaw Odo against the wall. We're 22 minutes in, and this is the mindset of Misfits. They are trying to force a fight. They are trying to force a play to get an advantage.
Again, 20 to 30 minute mark is where Rogue are mostly prone two mistakes. This is mostly where they have lost games due to someone being caught out. Larsen in the previous fight, Hans Sama now. They have found a way from the side of Misfits to shut down the carries over and over again. And you see that they have a beautiful wall right there to spot Hans Sama walking down. Vitio does not hesitate, calls instantly for the engage onto them, and only Inspired is there to back him up. It doesn't matter because Vitio is actually doing a bunch of damage right now and is able to capitalize onto Hans Sama. And I think he had also a 600 gold shutdown. That's a lot of gold to the Rise.
Gigantic, and it is something that Misfits desperately need because they are still 7,000 gold down. We're a minute from the next dragon. Hear it. No flash available. He's a little bit tired. We'll be able to hop over Inspired, but gets charged down audaciously, and Larsen will not be able to secure the kill. It's the 6th one that is there picked up, and now all of a sudden Odo, he's been jumped on by 3 members. Heartbreaker's been used, and Odo forced to flash away to safety. The Mega Inferno Bomb does so much damage. Vander catches on with the dredge line, chucks out the mines. Now Vitio and Razorka running for their lives. Kobe, the Enchanted Crystal is available. He's not fired it just yet. Holding onto that trigger, Razork sidesteps the bouncing bomb. And now all of a sudden, Misfits, again, they start the fight, but it goes against them.
I just have a feeling that they completely disregard Colby in all these fights. I don't know whether it's due to communication, whether Colby's like, guys, I'm farming this wave and then I can come, and then they pull the trigger much faster. But Colby is just never there for any of these fights to slow again people down so Misfits can reach the backline. And of course, Rogue, because they completely pushed back the entirety of Misfits, they left them really low HP, they have access to the Baron.
Yeah, uncontested Baron because of this play. And reminder, Misfits started the engage.
Yeah, absolutely, because you see 4 members of Rogue on the both side of the map. You're like, cool, now we pull the trigger, we need to punish someone on the other side of the map. So the play was really good from the side of Misfits. The execution is what's lacking, and the fact that Odoamne is so far ahead, he has so many defensive items that you just cannot put him down.
While that's going on, Misfits, they were able to get into the river first.
Odoamne's there again.
Pit. Dragon is picked up by Misfits. That's 2 apiece, but Odo's inside the pit looking for the fight. Trimby's holding on to that solar flare for now. Caught out the E. There goes Inspired. That's a Mega Gnar against the wall. 2 members locked down. Rogue continue the chase. Vitio's doing what he can to slow down the damage, but he simply cannot stop it. 1, 2 deaths already. Baron empowered minion siege, and Trimby's just gonna miss that Zenith Blade. It's nearly a 10,000 gold lead, and Razork is throwing up the crab as Larsen's trying to chase him down. I mean, Rogue, they are here to play and to win. If they win this series, they are guaranteed to go to Worlds.
Who did we say received that massive fat shutdown from Hans Sama? It was Vitio. Who was kept entirely out of the entire fight when Rogue were grouped and Rise would shine in such a situation? It was Vitio, because Hans Sama had his sights on him this entire fight. That was so beautifully again played by Rogue. They see them isolated, they see Vitio is not there and kept on the side, and now with their Baron buff, now with the people's advantage on the map, they can actually push 2 lanes.
And as soon as Hear It goes Mega Gnar, Rogue start to back away. Rogue have opened up the middle lane and was knocking on the door
no more Rogue
of
time.
that bottom lane, and they can't right now. It is still a gigantic advantage. And reminder here, as we were coming into this series, Rogue's early game was stronger than Misfits, and the expectation was whether or not Misfits could rise to the occasion. This game, they've been outplayed, but they do have the ability to go back to the drawing board. Don't forget, they have the ability to select the sides next time around. Look to avoid some of the mistakes, and this Gnar pick into the Tahm Kench has not proven to work.
I mean, technically it does, but because Inspired's pathing was so freaking good in the early game, it shut down Hear It in a way where his wave was just not beneficial to him, and he just kept getting punished over and over again. And as you saw, like, Razork never played topside ever again.
No, not at all. I mean, he didn't get a chance to do a whole lot. And you look down the kill scores, 2-1-11, 6-1-7, 11-2-5. I mean, this gigantic amount of kill participation here on the Rogue side of the Rift, because they've been able to group up, force these fights, force these objectives, and while Rogue take the top tower with this Red Bull Baron power play, down in the bottom lane, Hear It will pick up the first tower of the game for Misfits.
I'm looking at some ward for Hear It to TP on, and there is nothing at all behind Rogue. They're gonna have to fight front to back, and Rogue win this because they have the Ziggs.
Yeah.
They have so much space control with the bombs, with the satchel, with everything.
Yeah, of course, with Xin Zhao as well. He's going to be able to jump in with that 3 talent strike. A little bit alone on this side of the rift for now. Long
Trimby?
range Zenith Blade into the Carling. VTO's gone. He's just blown up by the Mega Inferno Bomber despite Inspired going low. Trimby's going to be the next target. Devour will buy some time. Defensive flashes away from Razork. Heartbreaker did nothing. 2 more kills to Rogue. 2 inhibitors to Rogue. And they've only got
Wave is
2
pushing top.
Nexus turrets left to pick up the first game of this best of 5. 3 members of Misfits remain. Here it has just timed out from the Mega Gnar, so he's got no CC available to him. Inspired dashes forward and shuts down Vander behind his base. The bouncing bombs land onto Cobby. That will pop the Shield of Daybreak, and now all of a sudden the Nexus turret is the last thing standing. 26 kills in 28 minutes. Rogue have deconstructed Misfits in the first of potentially 5, and they will take down the Nexus to pick up the first win in our playoffs.
Rogue, in these 2 weeks that we haven't seen them, went all the way from LCK to LPL status. That was almost a kill per minute from a team that we always criticize. We're like, you're so boring, you never play for kills, you never play for skirmishes.
I think it's a bit of an oversimplification, but I think the essence is beautiful. But also, spare a thought. Misfits' game plan did not work. They were punished top, they were punished bottom. Rogue lived up to expectations in game number 1 as they started the playoffs with a dominant win. We'll talk more about Oda1's Tom Kinch after the break.
Even though League of Legends is not a physical sport, there's the same eagerness and nerves before every single esports match than I had. The same in swimming. It was always about getting closer to a new high that you can reach, an endless pursuit of perfection. Even though I've come so close, I don't feel bad about it. If I work harder, it is gonna happen.
Kia, movement that inspires.
You don't have a chance against me. I can calculate 90 trillion moves in advance. Not fair. Not fair.
Red Bull gives you wings. Welcome back, everyone, to the Analyst Desk. In Game 1, Rogue showed why they are the top team going into the playoffs as they secured a dominant win on the back of Odoamne's Tahm Kench. Before we get into the hard-hitting analysis, I want to hear from my analysts. In one word, describe that Tahm Kench performance. Zanza.
Broken. What could I say? Okay, it's actually not that broken as a Trundle, of course, but broken enough to just solo win the game for Rock.
Yeah, broken is the best word. It's kind of hard to disgusting, you know. It was gross.
But listen, as a pro player, you can only use the tools that are at your disposal. And Odoamne said, I'm going to go for the Tahm Kench in this game. Zanza, talk to me about this top lane matchup specifically versus the Gnar as Tahm Kench.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this is like pretty decent matchup, I think, for Gnar. Overall, both champions should just like farm and then like on 2 items now start winning, I think, till the end of the game. But here, I think the really good gank from Aspire early on just stopped this snowball from here. And then I think here just make some like mechanical misplays and just like from 0 to 0, it's really hard to play versus Tahm Kench. And they tried several times to kill him, but yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, once the Tahm Kench gets ahead of you, he's so ludicrously tanky. You see him tank like 7 tower shots there. He's probably going to tank another 7 here. Here, it actually just cannot play League of Legends. In that last clip, he had TP, but if he leaves, he loses another 14 CS. Once you start to lose to Tahm Kench, you're going to keep losing to Tahm Kench for most of the game. Here, it learned this firsthand.
So what is it exactly about his reworked kit that makes him so deadly after he gets one advantage in lane?
Well, he has natural damage output scaling just from having health. So by building tanky and also getting damage, it makes him super oppressive early. Now, you do get outscaled by things like Divine Sunder, as Zanzaro highlighted. 2 items makes it really easy. But if he gets ahead of you early, he's got so much sustain, so much shielding. He's so obnoxious to play against. And if he can also get on top of you, as we saw so many times here, at not maybe respecting the Tahm Kench W enough, once he's on top of you with that fleet footwork, you are never getting away. No. Once he has 1 item, you are never getting away. So he's basically a walking DPS check, and you're going to lose for the vast majority of the game.
Yeah, it just looked like a bad time for Hirit. Do you think there was an issue, maybe, Zanza, with how they tried to play against the Tahm Kench in terms of like, let's all try to just run towards the Tahm Kench and kill it? Because that doesn't seem like the right strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard, honestly, because solution is too mobile. Ziggs is wave clearing for like 2 screens.
Yeah.
It's Tahm Kench kind of only one real option to kill, but he got super ahead from early game, so there's like, at least they can try to kill him, you know, but it's never worked out. They tried like 3 or 4 times, but they just get like even worse fight after. So yeah, it was kind of doomed from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And I think overall, it's a good thing to highlight that he is the easiest option for someone to shut down. But when Odoamne's already ahead, the amount of time every time they tried to kill him in this game, and they managed to do it successfully once or twice, he bought so much time that the rest of Rogue all manages to show up on the back end of the play. And while Odoamne, yeah, looks like the big scary one because he's getting these solo kills, he's still a Tahm Kench. The person that's actually terrifying and is the super fed Lucian.